Have you ever thought of the Bible as a guide for, building wealth? It sounds a little strange, I know. But today, we're going to dive into 10 surprisingly practical financial principles from this ancient text, with some help from the insights of financial coach Chinky Tan. Okay, let's be honest. When you think of the Bible, finance probably isn't the first thing that pops into your head. You probably think of faith, morality, spirituality, and that's all true. But a financial guide? Really? It might seem like a bit of a stretch. So let's see what the text itself has to say about that. Get this. The Bible has over 2,350 verses that talk about money and possessions. Now, to put that into perspective for you, that's actually more verses than it has on faith and prayer combined. So this isn't some minor side topic. It's actually a pretty central theme. So here's our game plan for unpacking these 10 principles. We're going to start with the Bible's financial secrets, then build on the foundation of wealth. After that, we'll get practical with the actions of a wise manager, learn how to steer clear of common money traps, and finally, we'll get to the big one, the ultimate purpose of money. All right, let's jump right in with section 1. When we say financial secrets, what we're really talking about is a foundational truth that pretty much shapes all the other principles. What kind of hidden wisdom about money has been hiding in plain sight? Let's find out. And that leads us straight into our second section, which gets to the real core of this whole philosophy, the foundation of wealth. You see, according to these principles, building wealth isn't just about what you do, it's about how you think. So let's explore the source and the mindset that really form this foundation. Okay, so our very first principle is all about recognizing the ultimate source of everything. The idea here is that if everything comes from a single, unlimited wellspring, that our needs can always be met. I mean, just that simple belief can shift your entire financial outlook from one of scarcity to one of genuine abundance. And this brings us to our second principle, which, well, it might feel a little counterintuitive, especially in the world we live in today. And it's this: find your wealth in contentment. This suggests that real wealth isn't measured by how much you have, but by how satisfied you are with what you have. I mean, think about it, right? Discontentment can make a millionaire feel totally poor because they're always just chasing that next thing. But on the flip side, contentment can make someone with very little feel incredibly rich because they truly appreciate what they already have. It's a huge shift from looking for external validation to finding internal fulfillment. So we have the foundational mindset down. Now, how do we actually put it into practice? Well, that brings us to section 3, actions of a wise manager. This is where we go from theory to action and reveal our next 3 principles. Here are 2 really key actions. Principle number 3, be a faithful manager of whatever you already have. It doesn't matter how small it is. The idea is that if you can master the small responsibilities, you're preparing yourself for bigger ones down the road. And principle 4, when you're facing those huge financial decisions, go seek wise counsel. You don't have to figure it all out by yourself. This proverb here gives us our 5th principle: prioritize saving over spending. It draws a really sharp contrast, doesn't it? The wise build wealth through planning and discipline. But fools? Well, they're driven by impulse. It's that classic invest versus splurge dilemma, and it is just as relevant today as it was thousands of years ago. You know, building wealth is only half the battle. Protecting it is just as important. So in section 4, we're going to look at some common money traps to avoid with 2 really key principles that can help you secure your financial future. Our 6th principle gives a really stark perspective on debt. It's not just a financial burden, it's seen as a form of slavery. When you owe money, you're not fully in control of your own life, are you? The message here is crystal clear. To be truly free, you have to break the chains of debt. Now, this is one of the most famous and honestly most often misquoted verses out there, and it's our 7th principle. The key word to focus on here is love. See, the principle isn't that money itself is evil, not at all. The danger is in the greed for it, that obsession that can make people do things that go against their values. It's a really critical distinction to make. Okay, so we've covered the mindset, the actions, and the warnings. Now, let's tie it all together with our final 3 principles in our last section, the ultimate purpose of money. What is the why behind all of this? What's the point of building wealth in the first place? Principle number 8 is that the purpose of wealth is to be a channel, not a container. According to this philosophy, it's not about hoarding resources just for yourself. Think of your wealth less like a dam that holds everything in, and more like a river that flows out and nourishes everything and everyone it touches. This brings us to our final two principles, which are really the pinnacle of this whole financial philosophy. Principle 9 is to embrace generosity as a core part of your life. And our 10th and final principle is understanding that the real blessing, the ultimate return on your investment, doesn't come from receiving. It comes from giving. So we'll leave you with this final thought to reflect on. If you really had an unlimited source, if scarcity just wasn't a thing, what kind of positive impact would you make? What blessing would you want to be to the world around you? That's a powerful question to think about.
If you found this video helpful or entertaining, like the video below. Make sure to subscribe below to stay updated with our uploads.